Have you ever felt like you're not enough? Like no matter how hard you try, you just can't measure up? You're not alone. In a world that constantly tells us to be more, do more, and achieve more, it's easy to forget something vital: you are more than enough. Let's talk about why that's true, how you can embrace it, and the practical steps you can take to truly believe it. The pressure to be perfect. Everywhere you look, there's pressure to compare. Social media shows highlight reels, not reality. Society glorifies busyness over balance. And we internalize these messages, believing that our worth is tied to what we achieve or how we're perceived. But here's the truth: your value isn't measured by likes, promotions, or perfection. It's rooted in who you are, your uniqueness, your story, and your journey. Think about this: how often do you scroll through social media and feel like everyone else has it all figured out? The perfect career, relationships, or lifestyle. But what you don't see are the struggles behind those pictures. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. And that's not a fair comparison. Recognizing your inner worth. Take a moment to think about this: if you stripped away every title, achievement, or possession, what would be left? The answer is you. And that you is enough. Recognizing your inner worth starts with shifting your focus from external validation to internal appreciation. Start asking yourself, what makes me unique? What values do I stand for? When you acknowledge these answers, you begin to see your intrinsic value. Your worth is not transactional. It's not something you earn through hard work or success. It's inherent. You were born with it. And when you start to believe this, you free yourself from the endless cycle of seeking validation. You'll begin to see that being you is more than enough. Letting go of comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy. Yet we all fall into the trap of measuring ourselves against others. Remember, the only person you need to compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Your journey is yours alone, and no one else can walk it for you. Let go of the need to keep up with others, and celebrate your own progress, no matter how small it seems. Think of it this way: flowers don't compete to bloom. They just do. Each one is beautiful in its own way, at its own time. You're no different. Embrace your path and trust that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Embracing imperfection. Here's a secret: nobody is perfect. And that's what makes life beautiful. Your flaws and imperfections are part of your story, not something to hide. When you embrace them, you give yourself permission to grow, to learn, and to be authentically you. Perfection isn't the goal, authenticity is. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. They're not failures, they're opportunities to learn. Think about some of the greatest successes in history. Most of them were born out of trial and error. The next time you feel like you've fallen short, remind yourself that growth comes from these moments. Practical steps to believe you're enough. So how do you start believing you're more than enough? Here are a few steps. 1. Practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself with kindness. Replace negative self-talk with affirming words. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," pause and reframe it. Try saying, "I'm doing my best, and that's enough." 2. Set boundaries. Say no to things that drain your energy and yes to what aligns with your values. Boundaries are a form of self-respect and a way to protect your peace. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. 3. Focus on gratitude. Reflect on what you have rather than what you lack. Gratitude shifts your perspective. Try keeping a journal where you write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. Over time, this habit can help you see the abundance in your life. 4. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who uplift you and inspire growth. Distance yourself from toxic relationships that make you feel less than. You deserve to be around people who see your worth and remind you of it. 5. Celebrate small wins. Don't wait for big achievements to acknowledge your efforts. Every step forward, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. Reward yourself for showing up, for trying, and for being you. Acknowledging the journey. Believing you're enough doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, one that requires patience and persistence. There will be days when self-doubt creeps in, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep going, to keep reminding yourself of your worth. Think of this journey as building a relationship with yourself. Just like any relationship, it takes time, effort, and care. Be patient with yourself. You're growing, and growth is a process. Conclusion: reinforce the main message. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be you. Remember, your worth isn't up for debate. It isn't tied to achievements, opinions, or comparisons. It's inherent. So, the next time you doubt yourself, pause and remind yourself, you are more than enough. And you always have been. Carry this truth with you. Not just today, but every day. You're more capable, more resilient, and more valuable than you realize. Embrace it, because you're worth it.